The Harry Potter series is one of my all-time favorite novels. With that being said, I also love the film adaptations, and they will remain as one of the best movies I've ever seen. However, adapting a book series to a movie can make the directors and the cast change some stuff from the source material, so today, I'll be giving you a list of 10 differences between the Harry Potter books and the movies. Without further ado, let's get started. Number 10. Fred Weasley's Death. One of the most sad and heartbreaking deaths is the death of Fred Weasley. During the Battle of Hogwarts, Fred was killed and was mourned a lot by fans, but his death in the movie was really different from the book. In the movie, we see Fred lying dead on the ground, but in the books, we actually see how he dies. Harry, Ron, and Hermione were passing by when they saw Percy and Fred doing the Minister of Magic pious techniques. Percy was joking about resigning in his job, and Fred laughed, saying, "You're joking, Perce. You actually are joking." "Perce, I haven't heard you joke since you were—" But he wasn't able to finish that sentence because at that moment, the Room of Requirement exploded, killing Fred. Percy ran after Augustus Rookwood, a Death Eater and a spy of Voldemort in the Department of Mysteries, who exploded the Room of Requirement. I really wish they kept this scene instead of seeing Fred dead already. Though I get why they had to cut this because it just didn't fit in the movie, but I think it would be really cool to see this. Number 9. Voldemort and Harry's eye color. Voldemort's eye color was not that mentioned or touched upon in the films. However, the books described his eyes originally brown, but when he started making Horcruxes, his eyes slowly turned red, which wasn't the case in the movies because Voldemort had blue eyes. Harry's eye color was not followed as well. In the books, he was said to have green eyes, but Daniel Radcliffe, the actor who played Harry, had blue eyes. According to some sources, Daniel Radcliffe tried to use green contacts, but he had a severe allergic reaction to them, so they didn't use it. This was understandable, but the movies did a big mistake. Both the books and the films mention at least once that Harry had his mother's eyes, but the cast for Lily Potter had brown eyes, which contradicts everything they comment about Harry's eyes. Number 8. House Elves. In Harry Potter, we're introduced to a lot of house elves, but the series focused on 3, Dobby, Winky, and Kreacher. In my opinion, the films cut too much on these house elves, and I'm going to show how each house elf's role was cut. First, we'll talk about Dobby, the most famous from the 3. Dobby was the house elf to the Malfoys, and was treated badly for years until he was freed by Harry in the Chamber of Secrets. Dobby appears in the 2nd, 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th book, but he only showed up in the 2nd and 7th film. The movies gave his role to Neville Longbottom. In the Goblet of Fire, Dobby gives Harry the Gillyweed for the second task in the Triwizard Tournament, but in the film, Neville gives Harry the Gillyweed. When Harry needed a place for Dumbledore's army, Dobby suggested the Room of Requirement, but in the movies, Neville discovered it. If you've only watched the films, it's a bit random to see Dobby coming to the rescue in Deathly Hallows, and the films tried desperately to cut him out, but they saw how important he was, so even if it was awkward to have him, they added him in. Another house elf is Winky. Winky is a less popular house elf because she doesn't appear in the movies, even though she plays a major role in the Goblet of Fire. Winky was Barty Crouch Sr.'s house elf, who was the head of the Department of Magical Law Enforcement, and the father of Barty Crouch Jr., one of the most loyal Death Eaters to Voldemort. After the Quidditch World Cup, Death Eaters attacked the camp, and Harry's wand was missing. Harry, Ron, and Hermione were able to escape the crowd, and the 3 of them witnessed the conjuring of the Dark Mark, or Voldemort's symbol. Winky was found in the crime scene with Harry's wand, and was accused of conjuring it, when in fact it was Barty Crouch Jr., who was at that moment inside an invisibility cloak. Mr. Crouch Sr. fired Winky on the spot, and Winky went on to work in the Hogwarts kitchens with Dobby. Winky became extremely depressed and started to drink alcohol. Dobby tried to help her, but it didn't help. The third and final house elf is Kreacher, a house elf to the Black family, and he stayed at the Order of the Phoenix's hideout called Number 12 Grimmauld Place. Kreacher is an old elf compared to Dobby and Winky, and he used to be a personal servant of Regulus Black, Sirius Black's brother. The films accurately shows Kreacher's general mood of mumbling to himself and cursing mudbloods, but they left out the story of how Kreacher tried to destroy one of Voldemort's Horcruxes, which was the locket of Salazar Slytherin. Regulus was the first to learn about Voldemort's secret to immortality, which was making Horcruxes, and he wanted to destroy the locket. When he and Kreacher went to the cave where the locket was kept, Regulus was attacked and brutally killed by the Inferi, animated corpses made by Voldemort to protect the locket. Before dying, Regulus told Kreacher to destroy the locket, and Kreacher tried his best to do it, but it was no use. The locket couldn't be destroyed, and Kreacher eventually gave up and placed it in Sirius Black's room, and left it for years, until an Order of the Phoenix member named Mundungus Fletcher would steal through Sirius's stuff and sell it to Dolores Umbridge. These three house elves have bigger roles in the books, and I really wish we got to see more of them in the films. Number 7. Percy Weasley. Percy Weasley is an older brother of Ron, and the films didn't show that much on his character. If you haven't read the books and just watched the movies, then you would wonder why some Potterheads hate Percy Weasley, because Percy is just barely in the films. They did show how Percy was a prefect and a head boy, but they didn't show how much of a pompous person Percy really is, and how he even disowned his family. In the books, Percy was the kind of person who loved rules, and was really ambitious compared to the other Weasleys. Percy's main goal to do after he graduated from Hogwarts was to work in the Ministry of Magic, and maybe even become the minister himself. Percy was a very driven person, who wanted to achieve his goals so much that he overlooked his family and friends just to reach them. Personally, when I first read about him in The Philosopher's Stone, I was okay with him despite him bickering about rules and etiquette, but around Order of the Phoenix, Percy just changed. He was practically disowning his family and would not go home. He sided with the Ministry, who believed Voldemort was not back when in fact he was, and while I was reading, I actually hated him for doing that. He was choosing the Ministry over his family and friends. He even told Ron to stay away from Harry because of the articles Rita Skeeter was writing about how Harry was a troubled boy and an attention seeker. He even sent back the sweaters Mrs. Weasley would knit, which made his parents worry and cry about him. His name was not supposed to be spoken in the house, or else Mrs. Weasley would cry, and Mr. Weasley would pound his fist on the table. His family missed him so much, but Percy gave all of them the cold shoulder. He was like this from books 5 to 6 and a bit of 7, until he got a bit of a redemption in the 7th book when he went into the Battle of Hogwarts and apologized for everything he did to his family. Number 6. Cornelius Fudge. Cornelius Fudge is the first Minister of Magic Harry encountered in the Wizarding World, and like Percy, the movies did not show Fudge's true personality. Personally, I find him as this prideful and irresponsible leader who cared more about himself than the people he ruled over. If you haven't read the books and just watched the movies, then you don't know how much of a bad ruler he is, and how much he impacted Harry's life around the Goblet of Fire and the Order of the Phoenix. Now, I'll show how Fudge was a bad leader, starting off with him giving himself Order of Merlin First Class. This award was given only to the best wizards who did brave and heroic deeds, which did not fall under Fudge's portfolio. This caused a lot of muttering of disgust in the Wizarding World, and this action just proves how much of a big-headed person Fudge is. The second reason why Fudge is a bad leader, and this is also the reason why a lot of Potterheads hate him, is not accepting the fact that Lord Voldemort had returned from the Goblet of Fire. He chose to deny the fact that Voldemort was back, and didn't believe Harry and Dumbledore, both of whom were trying to warn him that Voldemort was indeed back. Fudge did this because of 3 reasons. 1. Because there would be bad press and panic around the Wizarding World. 2. He was paranoid of Dumbledore stealing his position as Minister of Magic, which is just absolutely stupid, because Dumbledore refused to be Minister 4 times. And 3. He felt as if it was easier to deny the fact that Voldemort was back, and he did not want to deal with the darkest wizard in history. Because of this, Fudge went down as one of the worst Ministers of Magic, and he is to blame for Voldemort getting stronger and able to kill thousands, if not millions of innocent people. His thirst for power and maintaining himself as minister blinded him from actually doing his job, and he put both the Muggle and the Wizarding World in danger. Number 5. Remus Lupin and Tonks' relationship. Remus Lupin and Nymphadora Tonks is a couple barely mentioned in the films. They say it a few times, and Harry even mentions their son, Teddy, in the Deathly Hallows before Harry confronts Voldemort. However, their relationship is much more complicated and deeper in the books. Around Half-Blood Prince, Tonks admitted to Lupin that she had feelings for him, but Lupin denied their relationship because he was afraid for Tonks because he was a werewolf. Tonks became depressed by this, and she wasn't her usual colorful and jolly self. Everyone thought that she was blaming herself for Sirius Black's death because she had been doing Bellatrix Lestrange, the person who killed Sirius. They thought that Tonks felt as if she should have taken care of Bellatrix, so that Bellatrix wouldn't have killed Sirius. Harry even suspected that Tonks might have been in love with Sirius, and that's the reason why she was so upset. This was not the case, however, because the reason why she was upset was because Lupin didn't want to love her back. Her Patronus changed into something like a wolf, the same Patronus as Lupin's, and when something like this happens in the wizarding world, it just means that a person is in love. After Dumbledore's death in the Astronomy Tower, and the battle that happened after that, Tonks revealed to everyone that she was in love with Lupin, and they started up the relationship. Towards the Deathly Hallows, Tonks got pregnant and Lupin was half happy and half worried about the news because the baby might have his condition of being a werewolf. Because he was so worried, he left the pregnant Tonks to find Harry, Ron, and Hermione, who were hunting down Voldemort's Horcruxes. When Harry realized that he had left Tonks pregnant, Harry got mad and told Lupin to go back to Tonks. The two of them had a fight, and Lupin left, and while traveling, he realized what Harry was trying to say, and that Harry was right. He went back to Tonks, and the two of them had a son named Edward Remus Lupin, and nicknamed him Teddy, which was named after Tonks' recently deceased father, Ted Tonks. When the Battle of Hogwarts was happening, Lupin went to the battle and told Tonks to stay with Teddy, but Tonks didn't listen and gave Teddy to her mother, Andromeda, and went into the battle. At some point, Lupin was able to talk to Harry and make Harry Teddy's godfather. Unfortunately, this battle killed both Lupin and Tonks, making Teddy an orphan. When you look at their deaths in the eyes of a person who just watched the movies, their deaths would be a bit sad, but if you've read the books and learned how complicated and challenging their relationship was because of Lupin's insecurities and the war that was happening around the wizarding world, it would have much more impact. Number 4. Albus Dumbledore's backstory. If there's that one thing I really wish the films included, it has to be the backstory of Albus Dumbledore. As we all know, Albus Dumbledore is the headmaster of Hogwarts and the most powerful wizard in the wizarding world. Dumbledore is the only one Voldemort ever feared, and he's known for being calm and composed, but not that much people know about what his life was before he became headmaster. In the Deathly Hallows, an Order of the Phoenix member named Elphias Doge wrote Albus Dumbledore's backstory in the wizarding paper called the Daily Prophet. According to Elphias Doge, Dumbledore was born to Kendra Dumbledore and Percival Dumbledore. Albus had a brother named Aberforth and a sister named Ariana. Ariana had this traumatic experience with two Muggle boys, which resulted to her abilities being uncontrollable. Albus was the oldest from the three, and when he was a teenager, he met Gellert Grindelwald. The two of them became best friends, and they decided to find the Deathly Hallows. The Deathly Hallows were three objects: the Elder Wand, the Resurrection Stone, and the Invisibility Cloak. If you were able to get all three Hallows, you are called the Master of Death. During this time, Dumbledore wanted the Hallows more than anything in the world, and to his last days in the Harry Potter series, he was able to acquire all the Hallows. Because of this search and the influence Grindelwald had on him, Dumbledore became quite power-hungry, and this is the reason why he denied to become Minister of Magic. He didn't want to be power-hungry again, and he just didn't trust himself with that much power. One day, Albus, Aberforth, and Grindelwald had an argument, and it resulted in them dueling. In the duel, Ariana was accidentally killed because of a loose killing curse. Albus felt so guilty, and that battle caused the ending of his relationship with both Grindelwald and Aberforth. Aberforth would forever blame Dumbledore for Ariana's death, and Grindelwald would go on as one of the darkest wizards in history. I really wish they kept this in the movies, because nowadays we have the Fantastic Beasts movies, which has Grindelwald as a villain, and since the Harry Potter movies didn't have Dumbledore's past, people who've only watched the movies don't know that much on who Grindelwald is. Number 3. The Marauders. Even though Prisoner of Azkaban is my third favorite Harry Potter movie, I have to say that the film cut a lot on the Marauders. The Marauders are a group of friends of Harry's dad, James Potter. James was best friends with Sirius Black, Remus Lupin, and Peter Pettigrew. Together, the four of them made the Marauders map, which showed all the places at Hogwarts. The Prisoner of Azkaban movie didn't explain that much in these characters, like they were in the books. They left out a lot. 1. The explanation of the nicknames Moony, Wormtail, Padfoot, and Prongs. Moony being Lupin, Wormtail being Peter Pettigrew, Padfoot being Sirius Black, and Prongs being James. 2. The reason why Dumbledore planted the Whomping Willow in Hogwarts. In the book, we actually learn that Dumbledore made the Whomping Willow for Lupin so that he could enter through the tunnel which would lead him to the Shrieking Shack, and he could transform into a werewolf without hurting anyone. Lupin's screams when transforming also gave the Shrieking Shack the reputation of being haunted, and Dumbledore even encouraged this. 3. James, Sirius, and Peter being unauthorized animagi, or wizards who can transform into an animal at will. In the wizarding world, you had to register in the Animagus Registry in the Ministry of Magic when you become an animagus. However, James, Sirius, and Peter didn't register themselves because they became animagi during their Hogwarts years so that they could accompany Lupin during his transformation. The book also explains in detail on how the Marauders bullied Snape and how James matured and began to date Lily. None of these were explained in the film, and I knew that they would cut it because of the info dump it will give in the audience, but I really wish they explained it a bit. Number 2. The Prophecy. The Prophecy is the heart and soul of the Harry Potter series. It's the most important part because this was the reason why Harry became the Harry Potter we know today. Unfortunately, the movies didn't explain that much on this. It is understandable because the prophecy was explained and revealed in detail in The Order of the Phoenix, and the movie can't just make Dumbledore and Harry talk for 20 minutes. So now, I'll explain it. The prophecy was announced when Dumbledore was finding for a divination teacher, and Sybil Trelawney went for the job. By the end of it, Dumbledore kindly told her that she wasn't the right person, and was about to leave, when Trelawney suddenly announced the prophecy. She said, "The one with the power to vanquish the Dark Lord approaches, born to those who thrice defied him, born as the 7th month dies. And the Dark Lord will mark him as his equal, but he will have powers the Dark Lord knows not, and either must die at the hand of the other, for neither can live while the other survives. The one with the power to vanquish the Dark Lord will be born as the 7th month dies." While Trelawney was saying this, Severus Snape, a Death Eater of Voldemort, overheard half of the prophecy and told Voldemort about it. Voldemort, learning about this, realized that the prophecy could be either about Harry Potter or Neville Longbottom, because both Harry and Neville's parents defied him 3 times, since they were part of the Order of the Phoenix, or Dumbledore's organization that brought dark wizards to justice. On top of this, both Harry and Neville were born at the end of the 7th month, July, Neville having the birthday of July 30, and Harry having the birthday of July 31. Voldemort then picked Harry, and like the prophecy, he marked Harry as his equal when he gave him the lightning-shaped scar on his forehead. But Voldemort's spell backfired because of Lily's loving sacrifice. The line that says, "But he will have powers the Dark Lord knows not," is talking about love. Voldemort does not know love because he was conceived by a love potion, and love is the power that Harry has. The next line is, "And either must die at the hand of the other, for neither can live while the other survives," states that, in the end, Harry could only be killed by Voldemort, and Voldemort can only be killed by Harry. Number 1. The Elder Wand. Like I said earlier, the Elder Wand is one of the Deathly Hallows. In Harry Potter, it was explained in both the books and the films on how the Elder Wand was passed to owner. According to the children's book, A Beetle and the Bard, it was first made by Death and given to Antioch Peverell. Antioch used the Elder Wand against many of his enemies, but he was killed in his sleep and the wand was stolen from him. The wand eventually came to Gregorovitch, a wand maker and the rival of Garrick Ollivander. The wand was then stolen from him by Gellert Grindelwald. Gellert used this wand for years, until he was defeated by Dumbledore. Dumbledore became the Master, but during the event of the Astronomy Tower, Draco disarmed him, and by doing so, Draco became the owner of the Elder Wand. After that, in Malfoy Manor, when Harry, Ron, and Hermione were trapped by Death Eaters, Harry disarmed Draco, making Harry the owner of the Elder Wand. The films were able to explain this, but the thing they changed was when Harry broke the Elder Wand in half, and threw it away, because in the book, Harry fixed his own wand, which was broken, and placed the Elder Wand in Dumbledore's grave. Some fans did not like this change, because Harry didn't fix his wand before throwing the Elder Wand away. Personally, I'm okay with the change, but like the rest, I wish Harry fixed his own wand before breaking it in half. How about you? Do you know any more differences? Let me know in the comments down below.